On this episode of the Whiskey Tornado, we review Harvest Market's Maker's Mark Private Selection. Harvest Market's Maker's Mark Private Selection comes in at 108.1 proof with a recipe of 1 baked American puree stave, 3 seared French cuvee staves, 2 Maker's Mark 46 staves, and 4 roasted French Mendiant staves. They used 0 toasted French spice staves, and this was bottled May of 2022. What is up, everybody, and welcome back to another episode of the Whiskey Tornado. I'm your host, Lance. This episode is mainly for our Central Illinois peeps. We are reviewing Harvest Market's latest Maker's Mark private selection today. As you guys know, I absolutely love these, and I have done barrel picks of these, so I'm really interested to get into this. We are going to pour a sample here. Now, full transparency, Ray, who is the beverage steward at Harvest Market, asked me to review this. They did not give me a bottle of this. I actually went and bought this with my own money because I love their store and love supporting them. Let's get into the recipe that Ray chose. Now, he did a lot of things that I did on our barrel selection. The first stave, baked American puree, is basically what Maker's Mark is aged in anyway. It's American oak. So he only did one of those staves. That was the same for me. I don't think there's really a need to go super heavy on that since it's aged in the same thing. The second stave is seared French cuvee. Now, from my recollection, I believe that the seared French cuvee adds a lot of texture to the bourbon, adds a lot of like butteriness, creaminess to the bourbon. Now you can go too much on those. And for my blend, I remember 2 to 3 was about what I really liked. And Ray went with 3 here. So I'm super interested to get into this. This should be a very viscous, buttery bourbon in my opinion. The third stave is the Maker's Mark 46 stave. Now, I love a good Maker's Mark 46 cask strength. I love that stave. I think it adds some fruitiness to the bourbon. And he used 2 of those, which I think is a good amount as well. And the highest amount is the one I personally love the most that Ray used, and that is the roasted French Mendiant stave. And that adds a lot of chocolate notes to the bourbon. I absolutely love that stave. And in fact, when we did our blend, that was what we went heavy on as well. The toasted French spice, he did 0. I can't remember what we did on ours, but it was 0 or 1. It was very little on the toasted French spice. So I already, just by looking at the recipe here, love what Ray picked. Very similar to my flavor profile that I would go for. So I'm really looking forward to getting into this for you guys. Now, power of suggestion is very strong. Ray and Harvest Market labeled this one s'mores. So again, those roasted French Mendiant staves are going to add a lot of chocolate notes. And the fact that you've got staves in here in the first place, you're going to get a lot of those like vanilla marshmallow, graham crackery notes, and a lot of Maker's Mark private selections. Now, the thing I will say about private selections is you can really mess these up, I believe, when you're doing your selection. Some that I've had come out way too bitter, and I hate the finish. Now, I've already tasted this, so spoiler alert, Ray did not make this bitter, and the finish is beautiful. So, but just keep in mind, some of these I think can be too bitter and too heavy on the wood notes for my particular palate. All right, with all that being said, let's get into the nose here. Man, these Maker's Mark private selections can be so good. And what's really amazing about these is when you throw these into a blind, if you didn't know what they are, you're going to think they're a lot older than they are. I think these are around 6 years maybe. But it's not, there's no age statement on these, but it's not particularly aged, but that additional stave recipe, those additional staves in the recipe really make you feel like it is when you're tasting these blind. This is just, the nose on this is really beautiful. You get those chocolate notes. There's a little bit of dustiness on here, a little bit of that like Rick House dustiness, vanilla. There's like a really like a good fruity aspect to this. For Ray calling it s'mores on the nose, I'm getting like, what is that? It's, I know what it is. It's blueberries. I'm getting blueberries on the nose on this. I mean, I've rarely got blueberries on a bourbon. Now, if blueberries, when I tasted this, I've only tried this once. I did not get blueberries. If I get blueberries on the palate, this thing's gonna go through the roof for me. On the nose, I'm getting blueberries, which is very interesting. And I love that note. And blueberries, like if you had like a fresh tin of blueberries, like the plastic container of blueberries, and you opened it and smelled it, that's what I'm getting. So a little bit of vegetableness in there. But chocolate, vanilla, dustiness, blueberries. Really beautiful nose. I really like the nose on this. All right, let's go to the palate, and I hope I don't get bitterness this time, since I didn't get that blueberry note first time on the nose. Cheers, everybody. Oh, it's good. Man, is that beautiful. Ray, good job, man. Golly, that's good. It's really creamy, really buttery. Again, I think that those seared French cuvee staves really added to the butteriness, the texture of this. The body is beautiful. I love that aspect of it. You do get those chocolate, like roasted vanilla marshmallow notes. I don't know that I got any blueberries, which I was really hoping for after smelling it. I don't think I got any blueberries on the nose, but let me taste again here. Man, it's just a really nice bourbon. Crushable bourbon. Really good. I bet this holds up well if you want to drink bourbon on the rocks. Mid palate is where I get a lot of that like sugary sweetness. I'm not getting those berry notes on the palate. I am getting more of those s'mores kind of chocolate vanilla notes. And then there is a nice barrel spice on the back of the palate that doesn't transfer into bitterness, which is always my biggest concern on any double oaking products or any products that are finished with staves. If I get bitterness or a dryness on the back end, I do not like it. This has zero of that. So fantastic job of avoiding that, Ray, in my opinion. You named this perfectly. S'mores is a very, very good combination. Or a very good name. I would have probably named it s'mores with a bit of blueberries on the nose. That's what I would have labeled this. But there, the berries on the nose is really delightful. I love it. The body's great. The finish is really good. The value is great on this as well. So overall, this is a definite buy for me, a definite bar-worthy bottle for around $65, $70. I think. I can't remember exactly what the price is that I paid. But you're going to be hard pressed to find a bottle that's this good for the price. So I would run to Harvest Market. They still have some of these available, and pick one of these up for your bourbon collection. All right, guys, hope you enjoyed the review. Cheers, everybody. Yeah, man. God, it's a good bourbon. Good bourbon.